All right, we finally got it sorted out. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, this is Sci Fi Snob, and this is the Toplofty Lounge. We're in for a smooth show for you today. Oh yeah, baby. In the 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, baby. Yeah, here we go. In 11, 10, 9. Oh yeah, baby. Here we come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Top Lofty Lounge, episode 68. We're in for a smooth show today, notwithstanding the 10-minute technical problems at the beginning. Conversations for the elevated here on the Top Lofty Lounge. And don't forget to ask about our $1 million guarantee. This week on the show, it's movie night again. And we're talking about the movie from 1981, Dragonslayer. Yeah. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at today. Who's so far? We've got 2 viewers. That's awesome. That one of them is Jeff, and probably Cam monitoring it from another thing. So yeah, we're kind of almost talking to ourselves, but hey, that's okay. Before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host. He is the Valerian to my Galen. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And by that, I mean good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Jeff. Hey, we're glad someone's here. You could
Yeah.
be watching Culture Casino. Why would you want to?
What's he talking about tonight?
I mean,
Maybe it's better. Maybe we should stream snipe him.
maybe we should go over there and steal what he's up to. Come on, we don't do that, do we?
I got stuff to do.
You got stuff to do. Better, more important than the show. Nothing's
Yeah.
more important than this show. Come on.
Look, it's only important when we have viewers. And while Jeff is officially a viewer right now, he's also a participant in the channel. So, wait, Snugs, my good friend Snugs has come here to insult me, but at the same time make me feel better. Thank you.
That's right.
My good friend.
Cam was about to quit because nobody was here. So Snug saved the day. Manjashir, have we seen you before? Manjashir. I don't know if we've seen you before. See, people come into the chat. It just takes a little time, sometimes. That's why we have the opening part of the show where we just vamp and waste time. Kirk, WNBA, everyone's watching the WNBA. Is that important? Is that what you're saying? So, Cam, let me start off with our usual top lofty question. What have you done this week to increase your snob Q?
Well, I have kind of just stumbled upon a new role-playing game, sci-fi role-playing game, in fact, that looks really interesting, and I don't know, you might like it. I
might like it, or you mean the
No, you might like it, but
really?
the folks might also like it. But it's by the same. It was by Free League Publishing, and I think I mentioned before that they do like Blade Runner and Alien and Dune properties, but then they also do their own, their own IP. This is a
Right,
Swedish company,
right.
and I don't know. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from them lately. So maybe we could do a short segment coming up soon where I kind of just not a review, but just kind of an overview of the product. It's called Coriolis. Oh crap! I forgot.
Coriolis. Oh crap!
Coriolis the Coriolis the. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. I you told me about it, and I was like, anything when you have a title and you got a comma after it, it's a mistake. Coriolis. That's easy.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. There was an earlier Coriolis game called The Third. Something. Apparently I can't remember the third name of anything this week. So anyway, this is like another version of the game, or like a related game, but not the same game. So
now I'm not a big RPG guy. I know some people are now, but I am. Well, we shut down for the summer because people were off. But we were primarily doing sci-fi horror. So we were really doing Mothership. And that's because I have a friend of mine that gets me to edit his stuff, his various modules that he puts out for Mothership. He's run a couple Kickstarters. And so I get involved with that. But we kind of jump between that and using the alien rules, which is these guys, what you're talking about, right? These guys do the alien rules. So, and sometimes we'll take, you take a Mothership module, you convert it into aliens, or we just back and forth. But I play like an idiot, so I don't learn the rules or anything. I'm just like, okay, what do I roll? Roll this. Okay, that's fine.
Well, so you're like a good 70% of gamers then.
Yeah. Like and you know what? Listen, I'm old. I don't want to read a bunch of rules now anymore. I'm just there for And the thing about Mothership, the good thing about Mothership is that it's very rules light. Like there's not a lot of rolling and stuff. It's like, oh, how many dice do you just roll to hit and then roll for damage and stuff. And most of the time you miss and you die. It's like Aliens, but take out like the people who know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's just like you die a lot. Yeah, but it can be fun. So I kind of it's partly a job for me in a sense, because I know that my buddy's going to ask me to edit his modules and stuff. So if I help play test them too, I'm just sort of helping out.
I see.
But it's all right. It's good.
Well, I do have a correction or a clarification. It is called Coriolis the Great Dark.
Yes, and I quickly looked at the. You don't want to talk about it at all? No.
You can talk about it if you want. I don't have an in-depth. About halfway through the book, so.
I just quickly looked at the thing. Is it? What kind of? If you've played Aliens, is it what kind of is it D&D in space kind of thing? Like, is it focused on? Like, it seemed like it was focused on exploration type.
Yeah, it is. It's
kind of Mothership and Aliens is not focused on that. It's focused on fighting monsters mainly, right?
Yeah, this is very much so I get my understanding is the first Coriolis game was. It's about 200 years before this one takes place, and it was in, kind of the known galaxy kind of thing. So if you were to relate this to Dune, this would be like the Scattering, where these guys are some group in the Scattering. Mm-hmm. And they come to a kind of a dead end in space, basically, where and so they're like stuck there, and so they just kind of in a system, they just build onto an asteroid, which then becomes, their civilization. But then they figure out a way. They do discover this, some sort of hyperspace travel, thing, faster than light travel, I should say. And then, so they've mapped out like a small area of other systems. And now, so it's kind of, you're in this one new home base, which is nowhere near Earth. The Earth is the distant past, and they're now trying to explore which they found to be the ruins of some sort of extremely ancient space empire. Mm-hmm. And so they're like basically archaeologists, or mining the ruins of former technology and things to survive.
Right.
So it's kind of a dark themed thing. It's not like, hey, Star Trek kind of stuff. It's very much more dark.
But it seems maybe less dark than like a Mothership would be, or
I don't know that much about Mothership.
You don't even play Mothership, but Aliens.
Well, Aliens is much more civilized because Aliens is in a world. Earth is still
Right.
there, and they have a commerce and a lot of functioning. This is more like kind almost like a post-apocalyptic survival thing. Where they're all there is basically, and they're very much on the edge of existence.
Yeah, yo, dude, I'm not 60. Jeez, not that old. Yeah. So, well, I guess what I'm saying, and it's civilized. I mean, there's different styles of games, and Aliens is a sci-fi horror. Just you're playing like the movies, and Mothership is basically Aliens, except you die more. So it's just the same level of darkness. And, I'd say it's very, very similar, but it's fairly popular and everything. But yeah. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about that? I dropped a link in the chat. Like I said, I just, you mentioned it to me. I just sort of looked at it and I made it look, their website's nice. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. And I'm having, again, I haven't played it. I'm enjoying reading about it. And there is a solo adventure that's with it. So I'll probably try and play that and just to see how all the mechanics go.
There's so many of these games, though.
And see, this is like I think we've talked before, that we both have played board games and such, and I've played card games and our role playing games as well. And I haven't been doing a whole lot with it lately. And then now it's like I'm an alcoholic that's fallen off the wagon, so it's like, suddenly, look at this one. And so I'm spending stupid amounts of money. But hey, YOLO, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm old. I don't mind RPGs. I'm more board games, video games, more board games, in fact. But and the thing is I don't really have the time to read, giant books to learn the stuff. So if it's a game and someone else will, feed me the rules or say roll this or roll that, or it's very, very rules light, then I'm good with that. And like I said, Mothership is very much, I'll do this, I'll do that, and the warden, they call him the warden, will go, yeah, that works, or roll this or roll that. No, it didn't work, whatever. Most of the time, everything you do doesn't work. So most of our adventures, if there's 5 people, you have like 15 characters because there's a whole bunch of NPCs that you're gonna take over.
I found that most games, maybe just the ones I've been looking at, it's like they don't feel like a huge climb to understand them. I mean, there's only so many game systems that you can have. It's a lot harder for me to read through board game rule books. If I have insomnia, that is the thing that put me out right away. Really? So yeah. And on that note, I bought another board game today that I don't need. So
yeah, all right, right on. I play boring stuff. I mean, board games are not. They can be a pain in the butt, though. There is some truth to that.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I got through this. This is a Lord of the Rings one, so I'm a sucker for that.
Oh yeah. But like all these rules for a couple, I just want to jump right in. And that's why, like I said, Mothership's very, very, very pretty easy to set up for and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. It's pretty. You can grow up a new character pretty quick, which you might have to.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What else? What about me? What did I do? Oh, I got my kid. I'm trying to, I got her to watch the 3. I've mentioned this before. I got her to watch finally get her the 3 original Star Wars, and we went into. I showed her Marvel's Avengers. We watched Avengers this week, so we're gonna I might start working slowly on the good Marvel Phase 1 to 3 movies. You start with Iron Man and see what. She's like, why you talk so much about these crappy movies? I want to see some of the crappy ones. I go, no, you got to see the good ones first, right? And then we'll also try the Phantom Menace. Maybe try the Phantom Menace. Yeah. Candyland is not a game.
No, it's an
Candyland is not a
annoyance.
game. And you know why? Because there is no choices you make in it.
Right.
You know that? I have a copy of Candyland. We played it when the kids were babies and stuff, eh? It's actually, you shuffle the cards and then you set yourself up, you pick up the card, and it's basically the card is, go to this color, right? So once the deck is set up, the game is already set. And if you had a computer, it would just read the things that would tell you who won. There's no point in the game that you make a decision. You don't even get to roll dice in order to roll something, in order to, like, I'm going to roll the dice this way or that way, or drop it from 10 feet in the air or anything. So it's not, Candyland is technically not a game. Shoots and Ladders is, though, because you at least have the choice of rolling the dice and rolling them around and stuff. But yeah. All right. What else? What else did I do? That's about it. That's about it, I guess. I don't know. Did anything else? Yeah, I guess that's it. Nothing. You got anything? Got Cam?
No.
Oh, in the Discord, I put up the next 2 movies. You pick your guy. Oh, okay, that's true. You pick your color, but the color doesn't matter, right? Like, it's not like your color doesn't matter, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Oh, next week on the show, or sorry, not next week, but our next movie night is up on the. I'm trying to put things up early, be a little more organized. Up in the Discord, there's a vote. Vote for either Flash Gordon or what's the other one? Battle Among the Stars. Battle Beyond the Stars. I always get that wrong. So those are the 2 choices for next movie night. We have in about 4 weeks or so, roughly. So vote for them. Yeah. Pick which one. I'm happy with either one, Cam. I haven't seen Flash Gordon in forever, and I don't think I've ever seen Battle Beyond the Stars. So I'm good with either one of those.
Yeah, I kind of am too. We could do both.
Well, no, I think movie night. We just do one.
I'm saying, maybe one for the future.
Well, we are gonna do the one that you don't pick. We're gonna do that later. I mean, it's gonna be those are both.
Yes, the illusion of choice.
Well, it's which one do we do next, right? Okay. Side question: anybody play real pinball machines when they were young? Yeah, I did for sure, man. I'm old, not 60, but Flash versus John Boy in Space should be an easy choice. And remember, if it's Flash Gordon, look at Flash Gordon, not Flesh Gordon. That's something different.
Yeah, you're the one providing the links there, bro.
Yeah. And hey, our sub count, we're up to 626, inching up there from 625 last week or something. So everything's all good.
I think that's actually down.
I don't know.
Yeah, we were like at 627 at one point.
I didn't see that. Oh, all right.
People, please help.
So it's not really a poll. That's right. Democracy doesn't work. How many times must I tell you? It's just the illusion of choice. All right. We've gotten more people in here. We should say who's in the chat. Cam, do you want to welcome everyone in the chat?
Certainly. We have Death Angel Shadow, our co-host, what do we call him?
Panelist.
Panelist, yes.
Panelists.
For Babylon 5. Check that out on Wednesdays, everyone. This channel, same time. And then we have a bunch of us going back and forth. And then we had Snugs come in to save me, at least, because I couldn't go on without more of an audience. And then Manshare, which welcome. And then we've got, let's see, more of us talking. And then JT has come in. Thank you. And a little more. I think that's it right now. 6 watching, it says on my screen. So
yeah. We're down to 625 subs unsubbed. Thanks, we appreciate that.
Did it? Did we go down?
That's what he said. So maybe it might take time.
Oh, Snugs, of course. Yeah.
Snugs, of course.
Okay, you know what?
Appreciate that.
Sorry, side note on the pinball thing. I was at a restaurant a couple weeks ago. A friend said, "Hey, let's go grab something." It was a barbecue place, and they had real pinball machines there. So yes, they do exist.
Yeah, you haven't been able to find a place that has them. They used to be, so no, that's too bad. Yeah.
It kind of continued as like its own subculture. That people were really big fans of them, and kind of kept it going even during the height of the arcade video game. Arcade.
Yeah, it was a nostalgia thing. I don't see Weatherman in the chat. This our most loyal fan. I think we're gonna have to say if Weatherman is our most loyal fan, I think Snugs would be our least loyal fan. I think we're gonna have to call him that from now, or our worst fan, our least loyal.
At least mine.
Something like at least yours. Well, yes, I guess.
Yeah. I bring in the negative fandom, but hey, they still count as viewers. So
that's right. YouTube doesn't know if you're watching or hate watching.
Right.
They don't have that. All right. So should we jump into the? I guess that's about all I've got for for now. I think we should jump right into the movie. We've wasted enough time, I think, right?
Sure.
Snug says, do you like it? What does that mean? You like being the least loyal fan or our worst fan? All right. I think that's what you mean. All right. Cam, do you want to do a quick, I put you on the spot here. You want to do a quick thing of the movie? A very
sure.
usual.
It's a pretty simple movie. Basically, you have some troubled villagers coming to find the wise man. In this case, Ulrich, the sorcerer.
Ulrich,
Ulrich. Ulrich, sorry.
Ulrich.
And you know what? I have to have this in front of me because I don't remember anybody's names in this movie. So
yeah, no problem. I had trouble too. They don't call each other by their names often.
Yeah,
and it's that guy.
And so they bring the story basically that there's a dragon that's troubling all of them, and their kingdom their king has cut a deal where they basically send sacrifices to the dragon by lottery, and it leaves them alone otherwise. So these people want to end that, and they're trying to get the help from the sorcerer. Ulrich says, "Oh, sure, I'll help you," and he has a young apprentice, Galen, and they agree to go. But then you've got this
first they come and they say, "No, we're not gonna." They go, "Oh, he's not gonna help you," and then sees them, and he's like, "That's Peter McNichol too, eh?" I'm like, that guy looks familiar. I'm like, "Oh, it's Peter McNichol." Oh, from what's his name, Ally McBeal or whatever. And a bunch of stuff too.
He'll always be Janosch to me.
Janosch, yes, of course, yeah.
From Ghostbusters too.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm giving it the broad strokes here. We can get into
give it quick broad strokes. Sorry.
The kind of this antagonist, Tyrion, who is the captain of the Royal Guard, is he's pretend, I'm here to help or whatever. But he's really seeing to the kingdom's good. Which obviously he doesn't think stirring up his dragon business is. Anyway, he kills Ulrich, which Ulrich told him to do. Basically, like, here, get this dagger and stab it into him. He says, "Oh, he can't hurt me" or whatever. He does.
He wants to test him. He goes, "You wizards are full of crap. Basically, right. You don't have no magic. Prove it to us." And so the wizard says, "Okay, stab me in the heart, and you won't hurt me."
Right. Lo and behold, he hurts him.
He stabs him in the heart. He dies.
So they cremate him, and then Galen says, "Oh no, I'll take his place." And they go off, including
he finds this amulet, which seems to be pretty powerful.
Well, did he find it, or did he have it from the beginning?
No, it was in like he's rummaging around his stuff, and he finds it there.
Okay,
or it comes to him or something, right?
So he is able to do some magic using the amulet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go off, and they, on their way to the kingdom, they come across a dragon's lair, which they say it's not. You don't have to worry about it as long as you don't linger. But he gets uppity and decides he's gonna try and take care of the problem. Yeah. He uses his magic to cause a landslide that covers the entrance to the dragon's lair. So then they proceed on to the kingdom where the king's like, "Hey, did you really do this?" Or he says, "Oh, the problem's solved." Spoiler,
bullshit.
Right, the king is calling him out on it.
So the amulet.
Right, they arrest him, throw him in the dungeon. You want to take it from there?
And then the princess, the king's daughter, is involved, and she's talking to him. He basically tells her that, "Hey, this lottery is a bunch of BS. Your name's never gone in there, I bet. And she goes, no. And she goes, oh, yeah, whatever. Everybody knows it doesn't happen. And then the ground starts shaking, which we believe is the dragon, I guess, trying to escape from after he got buried in or I don't know, sort of earthquake type thing. He uses that to escape. Or she goes, talks to her father, comes back. The earthquake stuff happens. She lets him out. And then he's able to escape from the castle under the cover of the earthquakes, hides with his buddies, the guy who brought him in the first place, which is really a girl. And Snug says earlier, like, the obvious chick pretending to be a dude. I'm like, as soon as they come up, they go, and there's like, oh, the boy, oh, tell the boy to say it. I go, that's a chick, man. It was right off the bat. I'm like, that's a girl. Yeah. So then he goes, the blacksmith.
I'm sorry, I have to cut in.
All right, go ahead.
Space King 3 teaser trailer has come out today.
Oh no.
I'll link it for everyone.
Damn, no, don't do it yet because they might leave. Near the end of the show.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I might leave.
This was much more exciting for me.
So then, so he goes back to the girls. He's a blacksmith. They hide him. Tyrion goes on. They're searching for him there. They can't find him. The blacksmith has apparently built some sort of spear thing, which is supposed to be able to kill dragons, he says.
It's the Dragonslayer, in fact.
A Dragonslayer, it's called. It can cut through metal pretty good. They, he goes, oh, that's not enough. I guess the dragon has some sort of magical armor. You can't cut him with a magic weapon or something. Sort of plus one of dragon slaying. So he enchants it using the amulet. And then what happens then? Oh, they capture him, or he goes to kill the dragon after that, right?
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he goes to kill the dragon. They kind of stop him. They want to stop him because they're afraid that if he doesn't kill the dragon, it just makes things more. The beast will get enraged and burn everything down. The king tells the story about how his brother was really a good king. He took a bunch of guys. They went to kill the dragon, and no one came back. And the dragon went crazy and burned everything. So anyway, he goes there anyway. He has a big fight with the dragon. I'm missing stuff. They go and they're gonna sacrifice another virgin to the dragon, and the princess changes all the lottery names and makes it all her name because she's feeling guilty about.
Right, she thought she was in the lottery all this time,
and she wasn't.
Right,
and then they pick her name out, and she insists. So they're gonna do her, send her off to be killed. And of course, the king goes to him, "Hey, you can try and do your magic thing now because I don't want my daughter to die." Mm-hmm. So they go there, and he's there, and he's like, he wants to release the princess. She doesn't want to be released. Tyrion doesn't want her to be released because he thinks that the dragon's gonna rampage again if he fails anything, and he obviously thinks he's gonna fail. So there's a fight with Tyrion, and he kills Tyrion, but during the fight he lets the princess go, and she goes into the dragon's lair and gets eaten, right? Like after he kills Tyrion, he goes in there
by the younglings.
Yeah, the baby dragons are eating her. She's like, and they're eating her. Like, oh, what a waste. She was hot too. What a waste. Anyway, there's a big fight with the dragon. Then here, he doesn't quite kill it. He wounds it a couple times, stabs it, but he doesn't kill it, and barely makes it out alive. Then he decides he's going to run away, but there's a eclipse, and he remembers something that Ulrich told him, and he goes, "Hey, we got to go I got to go back to the dragon's lair. I got to pour this stuff into the water," and then Ulrich comes alive magically somehow. He goes out during the eclipse. He fights the dragon. He says, "Smash the amulet at a certain time. You'll know when." He fights with the dragon a little bit. The dragon picks him up in his claws, flies away, and then now's the time to smash it. He smashes the thing. It blows up. It blows up Ulrich, and of course kills the dragon as well. It's a pretty big explosion. Must be a couple pounds of C4 in there or something. And the dragon crashes to the earth, all pretty gory, all guts everywhere. And of course, the king shows up the next day, gets out of his carriage, takes his sword out, puts his sword in the dragon, and goes. And then his herald there guy yells, "All hail King! What's his name? The Dragonslayer! Yay!"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then of course the two of them, Peter McNichol Galen and Caitlin Clark, who plays the
Valerian.
girl Valerian. They go off in the sunset together. Yeah, that's basically the storyline. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
And the brief nudity. What? Oh, brief nudity. Oh, when they're in the water, wasn't much there.
It was some dude buttocks.
Yeah, we'll get to see. You get to see Peter McNichol's butt.
And another reason I wish I didn't watch this movie.
Yeah. So, what do you think overall of the movie?
Well, okay. I think when we talked about this, I was like, I think I've seen this movie, or maybe I've seen this movie. I have seen this movie. There was a few things like, oh, I remember that now. But it was so unmemorable the first time I saw it, which was probably in the mid 80s, that I basically blocked it out of my memory. And it has proven it is held up as being unmemorable to this day. So it's not a horrible movie. It's kind of a very generic adventure kind of thing. Save the villagers, kind of thing. But it's not great. I mean, some of the effects aren't that bad for its time. But you have it next to the same time frame as Excalibur, for example, and it's just not that memorable. That's about it. And honestly, I don't like Peter McNichol. He's a goofy looking little dude that doesn't strike me as a particularly good hero. And if they wanted to play it up as, oh, he's this bumbling kind of goofball, and make that part of the movie, but they didn't, though. Really, I mean,
competent, right? He's pretty competent.
Yeah, he's generally competent. It's I'm saying he just doesn't look the part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just was a wholly unimpressive movie.
I kind of agree. I thought it was pretty average. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I don't know. I don't know if I give it a 7.5. 6.5 though. I mean, it wasn't horrible. But it's, like I said, a fairly generic adventure movie, but no flaws, like no big flaws, like characters that are acting like they shouldn't act.
Right. I agree. It's serviceable. It's just not inspiring. Okay. So again, this is when I was in, full bore D&D mode, and this is not a movie that I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see that, or I'll watch it again because it's so much like this thing I want to see. It just didn't do it at all. It
was like, yeah.
How dare you?
This was not this movie. The dragon didn't talk in this movie. Maybe that might have been Rain of Fire or another one. But no, Sean, there was no dragon didn't talk.
One thing that I did remember, it's like the thing is like, oh, I've definitely seen this. Well, the servant guy saying burning water, that was the one memorable thing, because I do remember we parroted that kind of in mockery when I was a kid. And then the other thing where he had the shield made like of the dragon scales.
Yeah.
That was something that I remember.
That was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it was okay. Basically he was able to use it to shield himself from the dragon fire.
Yeah. So I was okay. We're going to talk about the special effects now. I mean, overall, I thought they were pretty good. Now, there are some things which are like the youngling dragons. I mean, they're like puppets, and they're a bit lame. But the dragon itself,
I don't know. I think that they were pretty.
Gonna argue.
I mean, if they're supposed to be these weird, youngling things, they did their job because they were creepy, and they were literally just eating a princess, So even though they weren't like doing a whole lot, I thought they served their purpose in terms.
Yeah, I thought they were just a little too, puppetry, and they were obviously just sort of like rolling around. They weren't moving much. They didn't seem to be very.
Yeah, it made it creepier. Though. It was
pretty creepy. I agree. But the dragon, I thought, was pretty well done. It was mostly, I think, it seemed to be mostly practical effects, which were fairly good, but a mix of practical and special effects. the dragon flying in the night, that was obviously, completely, special effects, not practical. There were some scenes near the end which were obviously green screen. Like at the very end, that you've got a shot of the two, the Galen and Valerian are standing there watching the wizard in the far distance. He looks like a little stick figure fighting the dragon. I mean, it's obviously green screen. You could sort of even tell. But there was a lot of practical effects and special effects that were pretty good overall in the movie. And I just want to talk a little bit about. Let me just read you some stuff here about give you some information about the special effects. So these were created by Industrial Light and Magic, and it was the first time they used ILM stuff outside of a Lucasfilm production. Mm-hmm. So this is 1981. So this is going to be, Empire came out in 1980. So this is going to be, right after Empire, they'll be working on, they would have been working on this. They use something called Go Motion, which is a variation of stop motion. They were nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, but lost it to Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I mean that's pretty high, to get nominated for this movie. I mean, I think it was that's pretty good. Yeah, it was filmed in Scotland and Wales. That's correct. Saw it at the end, and it was Pinewood Studios, which is the same studios that were doing Star Wars and stuff at the time. So what else? Oh, let me give you a little bit more background on the movie. It didn't do very well at the box office. Grossed $14 million worldwide against an $18 million budget. But it was also nominated for Best Original Score for an Academy Award. But that went to Chariots of Fire. It is tough. It's kind of a bit of a going against a bunch of good movies. And it was also nominated for a Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation. But again, that Raiders of the Lost Ark got that as well. But so I mean, it's obviously, didn't make its money back, so that's not good. But, up for 2 Academy Awards, that's, kind of interesting.
In a tough field,
In a tough field. But again, I still say it was kind of mediocre, but
it was. But again, maybe I'm being a little too harsh, because even though it didn't thrill me, like you said, there was nothing really wrong with it. It's not like it had huge flaws or the acting was terrible or anything. It really, it was just
forgettable.
Yeah. That's it.
So it's a Disney movie. It's actually a joint movie between Paramount and Disney, which was the second joint movie that they did. Popeye was the first one before that. It's more mature. I guess Disney, I mean, I know that Disney was trying to be more mature and, with things like Touchstone Pictures and that was one of the ways they were trying to, get away from their, animated only for general audience type stuff. But I think this is something they tried before or after that. I'm not sure about the history so much, but they did, a couple of joint productions with Paramount to kind of, I don't know, brush off that Disney stuff a little bit. But
yeah. Well, okay. Well, one thing I'd like to did you recognize who played brother? What was the name? I'm just looking at the Brother Jacobus, the guy who was going on
at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of near the beginning.
Was he the beginning guy?
He's the one that got fried.
I know who you're talking about. And I honestly, I didn't recognize it. But when I saw the end credits, I'm like, what? Hey, wait a second. So you're talking about Brother, Jacobus. He was at the beginning. He was at the religious guy who was leading them in and got burned like in the first third of the movie.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. Who is that guy?
He's Ian McDiarmid, the Emperor.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine.
Yep. I was like, that guy looks familiar. I'm like, oh yeah. So this was 2 years before he appeared in Return of the Jedi.
I didn't recognize him, but then when I saw the thing, I was like, wait a second, that's Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, and of course, he was under such heavy makeup in Return of the Jedi that we never really saw him in Star Wars, at least until Phantom Menace. Senator Palpatine. But he didn't look that different, honestly. He was obviously a little bit younger, but he looked pretty much like he did in the first movie. In the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Yeah, Disney was. I think you're right. You didn't see Disney's name. I noticed at the beginning of the movie you see Paramount's name. I think Disney's trying to like this. Part of their strategy. I would say. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I mean, Disney wanted to get into. They were the G. They were the G
Well, it
thing.
says
They
that
tried to move out of it. They tried to move out with Touchstone and all kinds of different.
it says in the U.S. it was distributed by Paramount in U.S. and Canada, so it was in Buena Vista, which is Disney internationally.
Yeah.
So they might not have had their name at the front.
I mean, I thought. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. So, anything else about the special effects? Do we want to mention?
No, I agree. I think they're actually not bad. If anyone has seen Willow, which was a Lucasfilm production that came out in I think maybe 87, 88 kind of thing, the the special effects do not hold up at all for that movie. There's also a dragon in there, and it sucks. The stop motion. It's like I don't know if it's like between two things, like two technologies where it's like it just missed, and actually some of the stuff from Temple of Doom strikes me that way as well. It might have been right in that era that it just didn't make it. They were experimenting or whatever. But my point of saying this is that this actually looked better in terms of the dragon, I think.
Yeah, I think that I would agree. The special effects hold up to a certain extent. Like they're not like you don't go, oh wow, that's totally bad. There are some things that, like I said, that's obviously green screen. That's a little bit, but the big dragon itself was not too bad. Like I'm like, okay, well I see it moving. It's not like it's totally obviously on a stick or too, all CGI or whatever. I was like, it's not bad. Considering it's over 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of, interesting. So what about the, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. What about the, what do you think about the, this is the first trans movie, isn't it, Cam?
No, that would just be cross-dressing.
Oh, it's just cross-dressing. Yeah.
Common for in stories that women who would be victimized portray themselves as young males.
Yeah. Oh, so Caitlin Clark was 29 when she was doing this movie. Probably 27 to film. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. They, they're picking. I mean, it's kind of. I'm like watching the movie. I'm like, remember a time when people in the movies were good looking, like overall, like the princess and even Caitlin Clark are. I mean, they ugly fire up a little bit, but they're both obviously good looking, right? Like I'm like, it's nice to watch a movie where, they don't purposefully make the actresses ugly for some reason or pick ugly ones, whatever for some reason. Yeah.
Yes, that was in the days when that wasn't considered an offense to
people
others.
wanted to see good-looking people in the movies.
Yes,
if I'm going to see a movie and watch these people, I want to at least have them.
Yeah, they both
looking. I don't want to look at ugly people.
All the women in this movie good for all practical purposes.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Anything else you want to?
The spear, Dragonslayer was actually pretty cool. I like that he was fighting with spear instead of a sword. Not too surprising, I suppose, for a dragon slaying thing. But this is before Dragonlance. When that really became a huge thing. And it was cool that the way they kind of portrayed it. It cut like the blacksmith guy. He was like shaving like a horseshoe with it.
Yeah, and then after they enchanted it, he cut off the end of his anvil.
Mm-hmm.
Just cut it off like butter. I'm like, whoa, look out!
So that was pretty cool.
And he wasn't an expert with it or anything. Like when he's fighting Tyrion, and the fight with Tyrion works out pretty good. Like Tyrion's hiding behind the, he's like, they're
he's
talking
behind like a post.
He goes behind the post and he just sticks him right through the post. Which if you have a magic spear that can cut through dragon scales, which normal weapons can't. You'd think it would go through a post pretty easy. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good way for him to kill the guy after the guy was saying, hey, you suck at fighting, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah,
So,
and that was actually kind of good that it wasn't just like, he's perfect. He's great. Hey, Death Angel Shadow, who doesn't love pole arms? Probably because of Gary Gygax, so yes.
pole arms are a little much bigger though. Yeah, but yeah, I like that. Like I said, it made sense within the story, and they have a little bit of a romantic thing that between Valerian and Galen. Do you think you notice the I know it's a Disney thing? He's like, it's the night before he's gonna go in there and get the dragon, and she's talking to him. They're getting ready. She gives him the shield and everything, and she goes, "Oh, there's some sort of hint like if I wasn't a virgin, then I wouldn't be eligible to be eaten by the dragon." And then next thing you know, it's the morning. What do you think happened during that time?
Nothing.
You really think that?
Yes.
All right.
But so she was like, "Oh, you're interested in the princess, because he was, playing." And he's like, "Yeah, screw that princess. You're my sweetheart."
That's right. You don't want the high maintenance women. I mean, the best looking ones are always high maintenance and difficult to deal with. You want the one who's good looking but doesn't know she's good looking. She's like a 6 or a 7, but she thinks she's a.
Hey, she cleaned up though. Pretty.
Yeah, nice. I was surprised, but they really boyify her, and then she comes out with a dress and sort of thing at the end of the first third. I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Snugs doesn't agree. He thinks Galen was into dudes, and he was disappointed. Maybe true. I think that she became uneligible to be eaten by the dragon after that night. Yeah, that's my personal opinion.
Well, that it might have been somewhere in the fine print. It's like, I prefer, but
no, it was always virgins.
Yeah, it always was. But I mean, he didn't. He just kind of roasted him.
I figured they were gonna put, when I'm watching the movie. I'm not sort of surprised that the princess was the one who was supposed to be eaten, but I thought that they would maybe get her to be eaten, right? Because the king kind of mad at them. Mm-hmm. She cheated, for a couple of years. They let's put her name in there a bunch of times, and let's get her, let's get rid of her. I don't like.
Well, here's the thing. Given that if this is the arrangement for the dragon, on who they're. The nature of who they're providing, don't you think that would incentivize, a lot of undoing of that condition?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking of that during the show. I'm like, it'd be great if you're a young man in that. You're like, oh, so I hear you're going to be eaten by the dragon.
I'm easy out there.
You want me to give you a hand with that?
Right.
Yeah, but we can suspend some disbelief. We can do. I think we can do that. Okay. Anything else? I got one other thing for sure that I want to talk about. But yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's all right. Go ahead.
You got nothing.
I'm just I'm ambivalent about the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it's not. This is not a big. We're not gonna have a big fight over this movie.
No, because we just don't care. It's not even.
It's kind of like
about. It's like you make the special effects. You go, yeah, sure.
Snugs is always willing to help out the ladies when they need a hand.
He's a giver.
That. Yeah, he's a giver. You give, and give. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I found interesting about this movie, which you don't really see in these medieval movies, was the mix of magic and Christianity in it. Mm-hmm. Normally, when you see a movie that is set in a medieval period with magic, it's either one or the other, right? Like you don't either have strong magic and then Christianity doesn't exist, or maybe magic is fading from the world and they're becoming more less magical and that kind of those are the typical things. But you don't usually see both of those things coinciding with each other. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, it was, the emperor there was talking about how this isn't a dragon. He's like, it's a demon, and if we, he's basically treating it as such, meaning, something he could cast out. Well, he was mistaken in that. It was actually a creature, a physical creature that could burn him, and did. So, but yeah, it's after that, though, the other people did kind of take up that notion. They were praying for deliverance from it and everything. And when it did get defeated, they were like, oh, they were thanking God for their deliverance.
It's it's pretty funny, eh? And I think that's kind of a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe a little tongue in cheek at the end of the movie. The everybody shows up and starts taking you know claiming that they've destroyed the dragon, right? The new priest guy shows up and he's like, God has delivered us from this, and of course, Galen's like, well, he doesn't say anything, but you can just see, you can assume him thinking, what do you mean, God? We blew up the wizard guy blew up and killed the thing. That's what happened. And then of course the king shows up with his sword and sticks it in. Oh, hail King so and so, the Dragonslayer. And you're like, okay, everybody's. This is how those those myths get going. 500 years from now, it's going to be how the king slayed the dragon single-handed combat. Yeah. Well, this is what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get at, PB. And I'm trying to, but Cam was not biting. This is my question. That's what I wanted to get Cam's thoughts on this. Why can't magic and Christianity coexist in a movie? Has it ever been done? It's done in this movie, and my point is that it's very rare. It's usually a medieval setting with magic, and no Christianity, or a medieval setting with Christianity and God and all that stuff, and no magic. Very rarely are they together. That's what I wanted to get Cam to comment on, but I think he kind of dodged the question a little bit. You can't dodge it now. PB has a question. Cam, what do you think? No,
I don't know. Well, if you are familiar with Christianity, Christianity is incompatible with magic. It rejects such things.
Yeah.
And because
we don't need to get all into religious talk.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying what the the basis is that if you're a Christian, you should not be playing with magic. So and again, this is a fantasy setting where you've got magic in this kind of nature. Where that's fairly overt. It's fantasy magic as compared to magic in the real world, which would be more like soothsaying and divination and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's looked down upon in religion,
right?
Yeah, especially magic is bad.
And well, part of that also is that unless you have something that is miraculous coming from God, then it is, and it's supernatural. Then it's demonic, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, you're one or the other, and you can't force God to do something. Basically, you can't do some ritual to coerce God. God does something because that's what God does, so it's.
No, I understand that, and I agree. But, most Hollywood types are probably not too religious.
Well, yeah. And
they wouldn't give a crap either way, right?
And they probably wouldn't want to get the ire of the Bible Belt.
Maybe the Christian movie going. Well, maybe that's the reason why you don't see that kind of stuff.
Although, I mean, let's look at classic, Excalibur is there is magic in that world, but but Christianity is the new thing, right? In Excalibur, the 1981 Excalibur, right? Mm-hmm. Merlin is like, I'm of the old world. I'm my time is done. Kind of thing.
I think that's probably a good. Yeah, and there isn't that much. I mean, Merlin is sort of mystical, but it's not a classic. I don't really see as Excalibur as the classic magic where you would see in a like a Dungeons and Dragons game type, that style of magic.
Mhm.
Which would that be? What would that be? Would
Well,
you consider that like a high fantasy magic like Tolkien?
no,
No,
it's rather subtle,
yeah,
in there. It's you know, Merlin's not throwing on fireballs. It's like, oh, I conjured a mist. That's it's very very what in RPG terms would be low magic.
yeah,
And Tolkien's not even high, high magic. It's there is
yeah.
more,
It's
but
usually,
it is also
so
very
what?
subtle.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Tolkien is usually high fantasy,
High
but yeah,
fantasy, right?
that. But so, what would you call a? I mean, I don't know. What would you call a Dungeons and Dragons style
Well, a typical
fantasy
Dungeons and
setting?
Dragons would be high magic, high
That would be
fantasy.
high magic.
Yeah,
Yeah, lots of magic all around.
yeah, but
Um,
it depends on which one you're playing.
yeah. Yeah, PB, your question. Like, I mean, I'm asking the question because I don't know the answer either. I'm interested what Cam thinks and what people think about it. Why can't magic and Christianity coexist in the story of a movie? I think it can. It's just very rarely done. And my question would be, why is that? Why is that? I think Cam has got at least part of the answer. That maybe Christianity generally frowns on magic. It's magic is something from would be from Satan. Or,
Well, okay,
and then maybe they don't put it in there because they want to piss off part of the movie going public. But maybe that's not it. I'd like to look in that question more. I don't know.
it also depends on the nature of magic in your world, because I read this. I'm not an expert on Harry Potter stuff, but my understanding from J.K. Rowling is she has said that it is essentially technological, meaning it is scientific. It's not divine or demonic or anything like that. It is dealing with
Really,
energy and matter and things like that. And these
really,
people, these people are able to manipulate those natural forces.
yeah.
It's not that they are divining with some otherworldly creature or something like that. They
But
are.
that's interesting. But
It's like they're
then
super. Go ahead.
but then they're making they're doing the typical saying strange words in order to make things happen.
Right, but it's the methodology to do that. It's
Yeah.
like, imagine if someone saw a bunch of mathematical formulas written down in pre calculus days or something like that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what is this? This looks like hieroglyphs of magic. I mean, they wouldn't understand it, right? Or even someone talking with highly technological language to someone from 1500. It's like, what you're babbling, what doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, that's the Arthur C. Clarke quote, right?
Yeah.
Any technology sufficiently advanced will appear to be magic to us. But now, okay, I'm going to push back a little on that because I take your point about there's some, but most magic is presented like that in games anyway, or in whatever, right? Like, oh, you're tapping in. I mean, you're talking about J.K. Rowling saying they're tapping into sort of universal energies or whatever, but most magic will say, oh, well, there's magical energies that you can't see, and we're tapping into that. So it's really not that different to say that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
a lot
tapping
of
into the force,
well,
or
even
the magical energies of the astral plane, or just the creation forces of the universe.
Right.
But you could argue that we're if you are high technology in science fiction, like warp drive, or we're tapping into the the cosmic forces, or the forces, energies of the universe, or something like that. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, for example, it is wizards are presented as very much scientific-ish, meaning that they have formulas and things and materials and all this that make these things happen, and they're using their intellect to to do this. They're memorizing things, and then they're completing formulas. So it is very pseudo-scientific, at least, or like alchemy kind of stuff, maybe in other cases,
Right.
rather than divine. And again, if you want to keep talking about the D&D thing, there is in those things, it's not Christianity because they're fictional worlds, but
Yeah.
they do have divine magic and arcane magic, for example. They're two separate things. And the divine magic is coming from these these deities, and arcane isn't. So they do have those kinds of mixes, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like anyone is particularly interested in presenting Christianity at all. In modern cinema.
Yeah, generally speaking. I think that's a good. I think these are good questions. I don't know the answer, PB. I think they're interesting questions. Maybe we'll have to try to. I mean, I have to get somebody who, if we were to talk about this on a show, I'd have to get somebody, who knows more knowledgeable about it. But it is an interesting question, like magic and fiction. How it's presented, and that versus something like Christianity, which is very, anti-magic, right? Because magic is right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but
unless you call what God does is magic, but no, we don't. Generally, it's not. Christians don't say that God might perform miracles, but he doesn't.
Yeah, and
magic.
Yeah, the other thing in with Christianity, the idea there, again, if you look at D&D, there was, oddly enough, I had run across this. People are like, "Oh, clerics in D&D, where did they come from?" But I'm like, I don't know. Everything they do is basically, much of it is directly from the Bible. Healing disease, curing disease, curing blindness, healing, turning sticks into snakes. All these things are in the Bible, right? It's like, that's where they got it from, dummy.
But they represent their own god, whatever their gods are.
Right. Okay. But
seem to be a bunch of different gods.
Yes.
Maybe hundreds or more.
Right. But that's not the point I'm trying to make right now. But the point is, within Christianity, these, even pre-Christianity, in Judaism as well, is that supernatural things happening are not the person that it's happening through. Who it's demons aren't cast out by an individual's power. They're cast out by the power of God. It's not Death Angel
God
Shadow.
God channels through, God might channel his power through a person, but it's not the person, right?
That's right. It's always the person might be involved, but they're not the source of it. Death Angel Shadow, we can get to a whole discussion about persecuting scientists and the accuracy and inaccuracy of those things, such as the Galileo affair, which has been greatly overblown. But I think if you study this a little bit, you'll find that much of this has been an invention of the 1800s, where a lot of weird stuff happened. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Dune, if you want to talk about Dune a little bit, I consider myself fairly knowledgeable on Dune. There's no magic in Dune except mental powers, telepathy, and clairvoyance. There's no magic in Dune, and all that, the clairvoyance and stuff is basically a drug-fueled dream. Prescience is
and it does all come from the human mind too, right?
It's open, and we're open from supposedly these drugs, spice specifically, is a little bit opens your mind up to the very much like psychedelics. People thought psychedelics worked that way in the 60s and stuff. When
turns out
Dune
some people
was being written.
some people really still adhere to that belief.
But it was a thing back then, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of modeled on that. Telepathy. Are we talking about telepathy? I mean, some of the powers in Dune, like the mentats and stuff, are made, mainly from training and practice and advanced techniques in those areas. But
it's
not really telepathy.
Okay. The Bene Gesserit, they go to some length to explain their things. It's like things that seem magical really aren't. It's like they are the truthsayers and everything. It's like they're really just they're like a what the heck is the polygraph, essentially.
A human polygraph,
right? And
they're noticing little changes in facial tics or that sort of thing,
right? Yeah, and even beyond that, they go into like in one of the later books, they're talking about how this room is designed. It's like, yeah, everything about this room is designed to provide them some advantage or information, the way it reacts to the way people talk and all this stuff. So it's very arcane, but also very technological.
Yeah, it's got bases in like what you'd say like psychology or in
Right,
behavioral.
right. Yeah, all kind of
science,
merged in this super, like super elevated and then merged together.
Yeah,
To
yeah. And the thing about Dune is that because it's a it's a society. What I say, it's not really a fallen society per se, but they definitely have problems inventing new things. Like they are somewhat, you know, stuck where they are. So nobody really knows how. Most people don't know how things work, right? And because technology, like a globe, for example, lasts forever almost. It's built that way that you just get it. You don't care how it works. It just works, and it works forever. You don't have to buy a new one, and you don't have to invent a new one.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. They can, individual cellular level, mental powers per se, but no magic. Yeah, they can control. That's why can't be poisoned or anything. They can change things. That's how they change the spice.
Right.
Stagnant society. I guess that's probably a better. I mean, some of the after Frank Herbert died, some of those books have the Ixians and the Ricci's inventing new stuff, and there is some invention that does come on, like the later books, the no ships and that sort of thing. But it is somewhat rare. It's not the technological advance in our society. In our society would be considered way.
Well, but yeah, because the Butlerian Jihad, they stopped all of that.
Yeah.
But which we should do also, by the way. But it led to I wouldn't. I mean, humanity had evolved, kind of significantly. Again, like we were saying with the Bene Gesserit, and even even the Fremen, kind of in a more physical way. But and the Mentats and everything, that's far beyond us. And then after the first Dune book, by the time of the sixth book, humanity had continued to evolve, because there was one scene where it's like, a Duncan, who had been basically cloned and brought back many times. It's like he was like an outdated model, and I forget the guy. This was actually in the fourth book. It was Leto's major domo or whatever, and he was an Atreides descendant, but he was. Like Duncan attacked him or something. He just like laid him out because it's like, and he said it. He's like, "You're just an older model."
Yeah, I mean, they've had about 5,000 years at this time, and they're
and they continue to evolve.
Their reflexes are much faster, and
right.
I guess, I mean, I think part of that would be training too, maybe.
Well, it is. That's my point, though. Is in terms of human development, they actually developed a lot.
Maybe too fast.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Well, that's we're off. That tells you how exciting this movie was, because we're talking about all kinds of different stuff.
Off topic. Yeah. So what you said you wanted, we could talk about that in Dune. What would you want to? I was writing down.
I'm sorry. Which part of it?
You said something about Dune, and do a show on that. I'm always discussing something in Dune for a show.
I'm not following what you're asking. Did I mention something in this episode saying discussing?
Oh yeah, just like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, I don't remember.
November, all right.
But basically every topic you want to talk about could be in Dune, including religion, and how that's been in there. But with the technology and how they're abandoned. What I was trying to talk about was the abandonment of computer technology forced humanity to evolve in other ways.
Yeah, such as the Mentats. I guess that would be probably the biggest.
I don't know. I'd say they certainly had extraordinary computing power, but it was kind of limited to that. I mean, it was very advanced, where they they could theorize and do all these different things. It wasn't just calculating, but I'd say the Bene Gesserit were probably, well, definitely broader than that. If
Yeah.
the Mentats were kind of specialized, and the Bene Gesserit were much broader, but their mental capabilities were very advanced as well.
Yeah, and the thing with them is their abilities are kept secret, so everyone
Mhm.
knows what a mentat can do. I mean, you can buy hire a mentat, but the Bene Gesserit are very secretive, and people, they don't want people to know these sort of things that they can do. And
Yeah, they
the
basically
Butler and
lie
Jihad
about
was
it.
a subtopic.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you, JT, for reminding me
that's right.
what I forgot about.
Yeah, that's right. You said the Butler journey. Oh, we can talk about that. All right, let me write that down. Yeah.
All right.
We just got to think of these things. Just got to put them together and focus them a little bit. Yeah, I love Dune. I'm fairly knowledgeable about it. I haven't been some of the later stuff I haven't watched because it sucked. Though I did watch that the latest series that came out, which it wasn't so bad, but there was some weird shit. But
not to spoil anything, but we did talk about having a debate about the God Emperor. That we talked about that way back of a possible topic, and while I remember
what would the debate be? Good guy or bad guy?
Yeah, that well, my argument is there's nothing in the books to prove that he was right. That it wasn't just him being absolutely batshit crazy, pardon my language, and delusional. With the Golden Path stuff, and all that.
Yeah.
There's my argument is, my premise is that there is nothing in the story that proves that one way or another. Now, obviously, when you have a book that's based on,
you just can't see it. That's why, Cam, you haven't taken enough.
We're not gonna get into this at the moment.
You're not a high. That's the problem.
Sure, but I've argued against this in other ways, like with the Superman movie recently, where the movie tells you that the message from his parents, spoilers by the way, message from his parents was real. The condemning message, the embarrassing message, right?
Right.
The movie doesn't say, oh, you're supposed to think that that's not real. No, it tells you it is real. So just the same way that Dune tells you that Leto's thing is real, I accept that. That I'm just saying that it doesn't agree. Or it's not proven within the books. It's stated within the books, and you are meant to accept it clearly. But devil's advocate, I'm saying, where's the proof? And that was what we kind of went back and forth on that. So, but the reason we haven't done it is it would take more study to really have the points in line. But that's the basic idea.
PB has good taste because God Emperor is the best book. However, not much happens in it. That's the only problem. You disagree strongly, but it gets to the base argument of Herbert's books. You disagree strongly with the fact that the Golden Path I'm not sure what you disagree with. That the Golden Path doesn't work, or it just.
I think he's disagreeing with my premise.
Oh, your premise. Okay. All right.
And again, obviously, the books also disagree. I mean, meaning Herbert wrote the books on the premise that his statement from Leto was correct. It basically everything did follow from that. It's kind of similar to have anyone ever heard about the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing?
Yeah.
If
that was on what's it called? Big Bang Theory, that they put that out there. The Raiders theory about how
that if he did nothing, it would have ended up the same way.
Yeah. What's his name? Indiana Jones doesn't do anything in the movie.
Right.
It wouldn't matter if he was.
Yeah, it would. If he did nothing, it would have ended up the same way. Now, PB, you're veering into other kinds of topics, which are certainly valid in regards to the theory on how the world works and such. which I may or may not agree with, but kind of beyond the scope of our show here.
This show. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have a Dune show. There we go. There seems to be interest within the viewers.
Okay. When we get 700 viewers, we will, or 700 subscribers, then we can do that, because
yeah,
that's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to this movie that we were supposed to be talking about. Is there anything? I mean, I wanted to bring up the Christianity versus magic thing because I said it's pretty rare, and again, I don't know the answer. I just thought it was interesting that we don't usually see that, and you see that in this movie, so it stood out to me. What else about
you?
the movie?
Okay, you kind of presented it in the same light of them being thankful for the dragon being destroyed, as the king taking credit for it
at the end.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, it's not God that. I mean, I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious that God didn't slay the. I mean, God didn't slay the dragon. Like, there was no divine intervention. This guy went out. He used some magic, which would be the classic magic stuff, and and he slayed the dragon. And then now you've got a religious group trying to claim, and the king trying to claim, it was us.
Well, I would agree that the movie certainly didn't present like the Emperor's character of saying, "Hey, look, we said a prayer and the dragon was defeated," right? But it would be a mistake to, and oddly enough, in current events going on, Christianity is not a wishing well.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
I'm just saying it's fine for what you're saying about the movie, but it just veers into things that it's like, that's not how this works, And
I'm trying to talk about the movie, not about religion in general. I'm just saying. So within the context of the movie, I think both those groups are kind of trying to complain, like claim credit a little bit, and Galen. I mean, we know that is Galen's heroic efforts, plus magic and some help from his from Ulrich, that really defeated the dragon. So, and of course, when they take off, they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, off we go.
So okay, but Death Angel Shadow says, personally, I think Christianity didn't really need to be in there, and it's true. It really didn't have any particular function in the movie,
right.
But it's one of those things that, since this was set on Earth in the real world, it would be strange for it not to be there, given where this is set. I think it's somewhere in Eastern Europe or whatever, right? Where this is supposed to be.
I don't agree with that statement, Cam. I disagree. I think it would be. And this is why I mentioned it, because it's unusual to see Christianity, depicted in a magic and dragons movie. That's why I mentioned it, because normally we just, they'll just like, okay, well, this is straight, dragons and magic and stuff.
Okay,
whether it's like high magic or low magic.
I think we're
just forget about it.
We're maybe saying the same thing. I'm saying, if you have a movie that is based, this says it's like 6th century or something, in a place where Christianity existed and it's absent, then that will be strange. If it's a fictional world where Christianity doesn't exist, then yes, it's a magical world, and whether this or whatever happens.
Okay, but now, so I mean, other than the Wikipedia, plot summary, which says Erland is a 6th century kingdom near the river like this being Earth or not, like this, that's the only reference that we have to this being,
I agree with both you and Death Angel Shadow that they could have this could have easily been not Earth, right?
we don't really, it's a fictional kingdom. You're right, and it's not, they don't say, hey, here we are on Earth or anything. It's just a, it says so in the plot summary, sort of thing. There's not
okay, but for the fact that they did bring in Christianity, also roots it on Earth, though.
Yes, that makes it, and that's our discussion.
So it didn't need to be there. It could have been removed, and no one would have said, "Whoa, what is this? Is this England? Is this what is it? Who knows?"
Yeah.
But I guess they did. I don't know. This is I have a hard time mustering much of a discussion about a movie that is so mediocre. It's like I
Yeah.
don't know why is that in there, because they had nothing else and they just kind of threw it in there because it's a
Yeah,
default.
my only point is it's interesting because again, like you don't normally see this in movies. It's usually one or the other, right?
Well, okay, how many?
But
This would be a question of how many movies, sword and sorcery, magic based movies, are based in the real world in the era where Christianity existed.
yeah, okay.
And
So
so Excalibur,
you're going to say Excalibur, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are others.
But even okay, go, yeah. What else would you?
Well, I don't know. Nothing else is springing to mind right
No,
off the
and
bat.
even then, I always think Merlin doesn't seem. I mean, some of the things he does are just kind of. I mean, they're not sort of the high magic that you like. It's like very low magic,
Mhm.
and it's some sort of weird stuff. You're like, yeah. It always makes me
Well-
wonder if he's doing it like he's, he's, appearing in different places. Like, is he just like, did he just maybe he just fed everybody PCP in their drink or something, and they're like starting to see things, and he's just taking advantage of that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he is kind of a manipulator.
yeah, like exactly. So that his magic is maybe trickery more than, or
certainly.
veers more into trickery than that.
Even in this movie, in Dragonslayer, they kind of did that. It's like, his appearance at the beginning, he's, grab that handful of whatever. They were doing these tricks essentially to build this up, but there was a little more behind it, perhaps.
Yeah, there is some magic behind, but he is using trickery too. Like,
right.
But it's like, in this case, in this movie, it's kind of like, let's just throw a couple tricks in there to, impress the locals. So it'll be easier for me to do what I have to do, but I am still magical.
Right. PB, to answer your question, I don't know that there is any hard reason why you couldn't have those things in a movie. You could, my opinion is you can do any story well if you have the chops to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
you could do that.
And my question is actually not why can't you do it. My question would be why is it done so it's hardly ever done is my question. That's what
okay. A simple answer would be that it's constraining. It's like if you're trying to present Christianity in an accurate way, at least from the Christian perspective, then it's not. That just might not work for your story. It's not if. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I'd have to find. I think I'd want to find some English professor who studied this, and he could maybe shed light on the idea as to why. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. Why is it? I say with Cam, it can be done, but the question is why isn't it done more often? Why is it barely off?
I think
rarely.
The way probably within the Arthurian thing is where it would be most common, and it would be kind of in line with Excalibur, and then it's like, yes, these old ways, Druidism or whatever, is like has been paganism in general has been overridden by Christianity. And just historically that kind of happened as well. Look, I mean, the Roman Empire was a pagan system, and Christianity was eventually legalized and then later adopted. And it just paganism just died out.
Have you ever seen American Gods? No. Okay, so I've only seen the first season, but it's interesting in that story where they kind of put all that stuff together and they talk about worship, like worshiping, right? So, for example, they some of this will be blasphemy, but you've got these pagan these gods. It's like these gods are kind of fighting. I mean, they're not fighting for worshipers, but depending on how many people worship them or not, depends on how powerful they are. And so you'll see, in one of the main characters, Odin is Mr. Wednesday. He's Odin. and he's going with one of the characters. But he's got his power is reduced, and there's discussion about it. They've got the new gods which are coming in, which is one of them is the media, right? What's her name from X-Files? She plays the media, right? Like we are worshiping the media. You've got there's this one part of it where there's this where Easter, she has a party, and she's a pagan, basically a pagan god, and all the gods sort of show up for this party, and there's like 20 different Jesuses, right? And they're all there's one Jesus who is he's very bright, you could barely look at him, he's glowing, he's obviously the one that most people worship. But then you've got these other Jesuses around him, some are black, and some are darker and different, like they're all sort of suggesting that there's different Jesuses that are being worshipped. I don't know if it's the difference between the various sects of Christianity or whatever. They don't explain it. They just but they take that kind of look at it, which I thought was kind of interesting. PB liked it. Yeah, I found that was interesting way of portraying it. With these kind of a cycle where these people are worshiping, and all the pagans are out there, and the idea that we're getting away from religion, and the media is we worship the media, and it's very powerful and stuff. But anyway, yeah, that's a little bit off topic, but yeah. All right. Okay, Cam, anything else about the movie? I think we're gonna we're on an hour and a half almost. We want to try to that's when we're trying to end the show. So is there anything else about the movie we want to talk about? And then we'll go towards finishing off.
No,
not really. I can't think of anything else like that. The Christianity question is interesting. I think you put that away for another day. I'd be curious to dig into that a little more. Might be interesting. But yeah, it was a overall thoughts of the movie. Then last thoughts on it before we sum up.
It's forgettable.
Forgettable. Okay, that's it. Nothing else.
No.
Well, I'll be a little more. A little more wordy than that, I guess. I thought it was, it's overall, it was a fine movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't, horrible. There's just, somewhat forgettable. Yeah. But, not bad. And the special effects held up. Actors performed everything, reasonably well. I didn't have any problem with any of their, what they did. The story seemed to fit together properly, but it just didn't grab you. Even watching it back again, it didn't, it remains somewhat forgettable. Yeah. Okay, good. What would you give it? You give it a number?
If I'm a 6, I guess.
Yeah, me too. I'd be like 6.5 in that area if I had to be forced to. Did we forget something from the beginning of the show, Cam?
Oopsie.
Did we forget something?
Well, you did.
I did. Oh, you didn't correct me. Okay, we supposed to have a tool time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe so.
Well,
right.
Dave's not here, so he's usually the one that enjoys it most.
So what are you saying? You don't want to do tool time?
We can save it.
You want to save it for next week?
Yeah.
All right. Tool time for next week. Sorry, Chad. Next week. But there will be one for sure next week. Okay, so coming up, after party. I'll jump into the chat, into the Discord, into the speakeasy afterwards, and I'll hang out there. Yeah, I'll jump in there. So if everybody wants to shoot the shit about something, it's not about this, it can be about anything.
We should watch the Space King trailer or teaser.
What, right now?
Why not?
On the show?
Why not?
You don't think we'll get struck?
You stop it in the middle and you discuss it, you see.
All right. Okay, let me do that.
Well, actually, I don't know if the sound's going to come across. You seem to have technological tech problems.
It should come across the way I have.
Well, we could do this instead. Everyone watch Space King trailer, and it's supposedly going to be out this week. So in time for the show next week, we could discuss it.
Where's the? Is this the short right here?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to try and even put it in the private chat because I can't.
Okay.
Oh, I can't. It's forcing me to.
Hold on.
I'll try to put it up here. If you can't get it, then did you hear that? Finally, anybody hear that?
I do not hear it.
You didn't hear it? Okay, maybe it won't work. But let me try and share screen. Let me just set it up.
Okay, stop talking. Snugs. What do you mean? What is Space King? Space King is a hilarious send-up of Warhammer 40K that has 2 episodes out and 3rd episode coming out right now, animated. Let's see. I will find the 1st episode for you and link that up as well.
Okay, what the heck is this? This is this one right here. All right. Let me just, is that coming up? Oh, no, let me put it on this one and there. Okay, there's YouTube. You can see some of the stuff that I'm, let's see if we can get this going. See if it comes up.
After 70 years, my greatest creation is complete.
Is anybody getting the audio?
Yes.
A female psycho warrior.
No! No!
Oh, how timely.
It's not supposed to be like that.
This is going to be good. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, all right. What is Space King? Oh, my goodness. What is for Warhammer 40K?
Yeah, what the hell is it?
You don't have to know anything about it. It makes it more funny if you do. Space King is a send-up of Warhammer 40K by some guys who apparently know a lot about it and like it. And they just, it's a parody, and it's pretty funny, but in a dark way. So you have to have a...
Yeah, it's very adult, not for kids, let's say.
You have to have Science Fiction Snob and Cam's dark sense of humor, such as... I guess what is for Warhammer 40K? For Warhammer 40K is a grimdark. It's set in a grimdark future where it's a science fiction. It's an IP, but it's well known for this. It's a very dark, very dystopian setup where basically the only it's also a rich person's tabletop addiction, but it's probably the darkest IP out there, universe. And it's basically everything, all resources are in short supply except for people. People are.
So let's explore the term grimdark briefly. It's what a 70s or 80s metal head teenager describes in their 50s and 60s to justify liking a lame ass overwrought bunch of nonsense. That's what that is.
So Cam doesn't like it. Spam his Twitter. I think I like it. I mean, I don't play the tabletop game, but I like the grimdark nature of the universe.
I'm being a bit harsh, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's interesting and a bit unusual in science fiction. Most people don't go that grimdark, and it's just kind of fun with the whole For example, watch the first Space King episode. So Space King hit this January, and it hit, and people were like raving about it. It got a couple million views. So in there, women are sort of it's all male warriors and stuff. So the thing starts off with the Space Marines landing on a planet, and they're going around and they're smashing.
Don't spoil it.
They're smashing into
Everyone
houses.
just see it. Just see it.
They're stealing all the boys, and then to turn them into Space Marines, basically kidnapping them, right? And of course, they don't need the girls, right? So there's Anyway, okay, I won't give you more. Sounds like the Gore novels. I'm not sure.
Okay, so is everyone familiar with like the philosophical teenage phase that kids go through? It's like, yeah, man, it's like I'm talking about the universe and blah blah blah, and like maybe they're smoking something or taking some sort of substance, and they feel really enlightened about it and everything. If you just flip that coin over, then that's what grimdark is. It's like they had a bad trip where they're in a horror show.
Yeah.
Yes, BB, that's about right. Well, I don't know.
It's dystopian, but it's more than dystopian. Like we talked about dystopia, the different types of science fiction in one of our past shows. Dystopian, post-apocalyptic, that sort of thing. Warhammer 40K is definitely dystopian, but grim dark is a sort of a subgenre of dystopian, in that it is like it's more grim.
Dystopian often has a veneer of civilized with it,
Yeah, it could be civilization.
This is like horror, like a mountain of horror poured on top of dystopian.
Yeah, without and with like little to no hope, right? There's battles that go on,
yet they just keep going, right?
Yeah, they go on, and the Imperium of Man is always fighting these. They basically hate everybody. They're fighting these Xenos, and most of the characters in Warhammer 40K it's based on Warhammer, which is a fantasy setting. So they've taken all the sort of the fantasy groups,
but technically not related.
Technically,
it's not the future of Warhammer.
No, it isn't. But they basically took, let's take elves, let's make space elves. Let's take orcs, we'll make space orcs.
Right.
Humans. So it's somewhat like that. But everything is, worse, and
So how long has the Space King, the Emperor, been around in the story?
Years, something like that.
How many?
1,000 years, I think. I'm not sure.
I think it's more than that, but
I'm not an expert. Maybe Jeff might know, but
yeah. Well, the point is, it's like, oh, it's this hopeless thing, but it just keeps going on for thousands of years. So it's like for someone's lifetime, it's not that hopeless because it's kind of the same thing.
Well, no, because it's still, you can't get out of your system. You can't do anything. You are there. The mankind is kept in a constant state of fear by the Emperor and the government about how the Xenos are going to attack them at any time.
Well, but
wake them out and all.
But isn't that the whole thing? Is that they are faced with inevitable destruction, right? Isn't that the overriding?
Well, they are, because the warp. In order to travel faster than light, you have to go through the warp, and the warp is chaos, and it's full of all kinds of nasty things. And nasty things will come out of the warp, and they will, they'll raise planets, and they'll, destroy everything in their path. There are creatures that are, want to do that sort of thing.
It sounds like they need the scattering.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter where you go in the universe, because in the warp, everything is beside it. It's not, you can't get away. So it's basically dystopian with a very grim and very dark, sort of a hopeless sort of set. And it's just a matter of, how long can I survive before I'm inevitably killed?
Question.
And we'll never get out, we're never going to survive.
Question,
we're never going to
question. But clearly humanity existed at a time when we weren't aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now is it universal?
What is
you said the warp is everywhere or whatever, so is it now spread? Because clearly at one point it wasn't spread to Earth. Let me finish. It wasn't spread to Earth to the extent where we knew about it, right?
The warp is like hyperspace.
Okay,
it exists all around, but when we started tapping into it, that's when you let the bad guys out. right?
Okay, and so now the bad guys have infected the entire universe.
Well, they could come in and they can come out as well. Now, either we've weakened the in order to travel through space, we've weakened it so that they can come in and out when they through some restrictions, of course, but also potentially we could humanity could not travel in space and not use the warp to go through space in order to and greatly lessen the chance of nasty things coming out from chaos and demons coming out from the warp and killing everything, all life. But they might get out anyway. And also the emperor could not exert control over humanity anymore, right? So that's no good.
So it's just
that's no good.
Dickheads in government essentially is the real horror. Is that what we're saying?
If you're a libertarian, you might say that. I mean, because like I said, you would go, you can go through your life not seeing any Xenos or any ever being attacked ever, right? Because the universe is vast and humanity is spread throughout it, and you could live your life for several lifetimes and never have the threat of orcs attacking you or whatever. But if they did attack you, it would be horrible. And the government's always telling you, yeah, it's good, it's a problem, and we need to worry about it.
This sounds like something that needs to be analyzed. Again, to see if it just comes down to stop doing dumb crap.
Yeah, well, yeah. So one of my ideas for shows is to have to look at all these various science fiction IPs and discuss them, and the Warhammer one would be an interesting one.
Yeah, well, here's the format for the show. An expert of someone that loves things, they come on and they try to explain it, and then I just say, well, that's dumb, and be a just complete pain in the ass. How about that?
That's kind of
like what we've done for 68 episodes.
Yeah, that's kind of the show, except maybe I would be there to moderate it a little bit so you don't piss everybody off. That's kind of the format for the show.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me. I'm being.
The idea is for some to explain these various IPs.
And I don't want to piss on anybody's fandom. They love their stuff,
of course.
And I'm sure there's stuff that I love that people think is stupid as well. So yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to. And I'm curious about these things, and I want to learn more about them.
But just watch Space King because it's funny.
Yeah, Space King is great. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert on Warhammer 40K. I know a little bit about it, and this is great. It's just great anyway. The level of sarcasm and satire and stuff is just So Space King has 2 videos out, and I guess the third one is coming out in less than a week.
Excellent.
So people have been waiting for it. People have been going, "When's another Space King?" And the guys who do it are very sarcastic. They they're like, they put little commercials at the end of the thing, buy our merch. They make a joke about themselves right at the beginning about 30-year-old fantasies and stuff. So they're pretty they're they know what they're doing.
It's humor
there's tons of people who enjoy Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, well, we should definitely review Space King next week.
All right, yeah, we could do that. That's part of all right, maybe we can build on that. But that'll be like Friday. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. Okay, so next week on the show, looks like we're going to be talking about Space King at least a little bit, and there'll be a tool time. This week on our show, the Babylon 5 show, we're going to be talking about the next episode, episode 15, and now for a word, which is I wouldn't call it. It's not a parody. It is presented as a documentary by a television news program, sort of a CNN type thing. And so it's done in that style. So it's a little unusual. They've never done that before. So I was a little skeptical of the show. I've seen it already. I watched it a couple days ago. So I'm ahead of the game. I was a little skeptical that it was going to be, but it's focused mainly on the war between the Centauri and the Narn, and it does a good job. One of my complaints so far, the last couple episodes, is that there's this war going on. We don't know nothing about it. Nobody mentions it, but this episode really talks about the war a lot. So it feels a little more. Yeah. All right. Okay, good. Anything else you want to mention, Cam?
No,
that's good. All right. Flash. Everyone's voting for Flash Gordon. I think it's a good choice. We will do them both because Battle Beyond the Stars is a Star Wars attempt at Star Wars by what's his name? The B movie guy, I think, right, Cam? I was just talking about him today, and I forget his name escapes me now. But anyway, yeah. Okay, did we miss anything? I think we're good to go. That's it, right? That's the end of the show. We didn't. Go to the Discord and vote for whoever you want. Yeah. I don't think we missed anything. Jeff, did we miss anything? I don't think so. I think we get in the show. Hold on. Where's my? I might have forgot the jokes. Did I forget the jokes? Cam, jokes.
Yeah,
Did you almost forget?
No, it's burned in my memory. Roger Corman. Thank God someone can remember names.
Roger Corman. Oh yeah. All right. No, you don't need to order Flash Gordon, Jeff. You can, but I will post links for the next movie night, and all the movies we talk about. I try to make sure they're on the Internet Archive. There are also other places, but you can watch them for free on the Internet Archive. But be careful. Don't do this full screen version, right, Cam? We didn't talk about that. About the movie. It was really annoying that it was full screen and not widescreen, because a lot of times there were people at the edges of the screen that you couldn't see.
Yeah,
I was like there's one point where the girl's talking to him, and I'm like, is she like invisible or what's going on? Is she hiding behind a rock? What's going on? Then she moves like, oh, she's off the screen. Oh, so I understand. But yeah, yeah, that was a pain, but I understand what you meant. All right, anyway, get what you pay for. It's free. All right, let's see. I'm just trying to think which of these. I have 3 jokes. Which is the best one to end with? Pretty much all of them are bad, so it doesn't matter. Tell me, Cam. I've sent you down the rabbit hole, and you're mad. Well, we like to make our viewers mad. That's part of our job. What does a dragon eat for a snack, Cam? Do you know?
I don't know. What does a dragon eat for a snack?
No guess, not at all.
No.
Firecrackers. Fire, get it? Firecrackers, crackers, because snack. Fire, because a fire-breathing dragon.
Yep.
Yeah. There's lots of stuff about dragons eating things, I guess, today. Since it was eating virgins. What did the dragon eat after going to the dentist?
I don't know. What did a dragon eat after going to the dentist?
The dentist. Oh, you laughed. Oh, I lose. Damn. Okay, last one. You probably won't like this one. Why are dragons the worst storytellers?
I don't know. Why are dragons the worst storytellers?
Because they tend to drag on.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Good one. All right.
Death Angel Shadow is proving that he's a D&D nerd.
I ended with the worst joke. That's good. Yeah. Green dragons, blue dragons. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming. After show in the Discord, if you want to jump on and talk about stuff. It doesn't have to be about this. It can be about anything. Yeah, that's it. Well, hopefully we'll see you Wednesday for Babylon 5, and we'll let you know what next week's show is going to be about. But chances are we're going to we'll definitely have a tool time, and we probably will talk about Space King because both Cam and I like it. All right. That's it, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, and let me know if you want to be part of the list on the list for the lounge lizards. If I've forgotten you, let me know. I'd put your name in.
Things that people say